Hello everyone, it's Shannon Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today I'm going to be working on finishing a few gouache paintings that I've been working on for about a year. On and off, mostly off, trust me. I do have a habit of getting distracted pretty easily, so it's pretty exciting when I get anything done, to be honest. So what I'm working on today is a couple of gouache paintings of the character Monica from Dark Cloud 2. Dark Cloud 2 is one of my very favorite games from way back. It is such a pretty game. The character designs are so cute. There's so much to do in it. It is so addicting. It made me cry so hard when I was little, though that's not very hard to do. It really meant a lot to me, and the designs of Monica's outfits are something that stuck out to me as like peak character design. I started 4 paintings, each one based on one of my favorite outfits of hers from the game. One of them, though, I actually didn't end up filming, so we're going to be looking at 3 paintings today. I will be showing you the 4th one too, but sadly we don't have the footage for that one, I'm sorry. So here I'm working on the first painting of this little 3-part series. This is Monica's princess dress outfit. She starts the game in this one. It is one of my favorites, but they're pretty much all my favorite. This has inspired like so many of my own personal character designs. It's such an iconic little outfit to me. So you may have been noticing the camera position switching around a lot so far. So I'm going to be going through a couple of different setups for this first painting, but after that it should be a little bit more consistent. I hadn't filmed myself painting before this, so it was a little bit of a learning curve, but eventually I think I figured something out that works pretty well. I had to do a lot of different experimenting with the cameras, the position of the cameras, the lighting. I am still experimenting a little bit at the beginning of this, so bear with me. So Monica's design and the whole aesthetic of this game really lends itself to the dreamy, girly, magical style of paintings that I really love doing. I love doing all kinds of fantasy paintings. I love drawing cute outfits, pretty girls. I love tons of color in my paintings. I've been doing a lot of video game fan art lately. It's kind of what I've been pulled towards, I guess, a lot. But I'd love to work more on some original pieces in the future. I'm mainly doing digital right now. I still do a little bit of gouache, but I also like acrylic, and I've been getting into sculpting lately. Maybe getting into oil one day, but it's a little intimidating. When I have worked with it, I like how creamy it is, but it's just, I don't have the attention span for that. It takes so long to dry. It just doesn't mix with the way I work right now. Gouache has been one of my favorite mediums for a while. I love the way you can use it like watercolor, but it's more forgiving than watercolor. You can cover up all your mistakes, you can add white back, add light colors back to it, which you can't do with watercolor. I love how you can layer it on like it's acrylic. It's pretty much the best of acrylic and watercolor combined. It can be tricky sometimes trying not to overwork an area because your old layers can be reactivated and come back up. But with practice you can learn to like work around it. I like to use that to kind of make areas lighter. So this painting was actually filmed back in April, so it has been kind of a long time. I think part of the reason this has taken me so long is just the fact that I've been pulled in so many different directions artistically lately. For a long time my focus has been on gouache, and I do really love gouache. But recently I've been pulled a little bit more towards digital art. That's been something that I've been having a lot of fun with lately. It's a lot easier to kind of like, there's not a lot of setup. I can just kind of jump right in and get into it. So that's been really nice, and the gouache I have to move so much and get so much of it set up. It's been hard to find the time, but I've got these gouache paintings done. I don't know how much gouache I will be doing in the future. I would love to come back to it. I do still love it as a medium, but right now, digital's kind of more where I'm at. Perhaps some acrylic? I think that might be a little easier for me to set up right now in my space. But gouache might be put off a little bit more towards the future, unless I really get the bug for it. And now this piece is almost done. I'm just putting a couple little finishing touches on this piece. Splattering a little bit of paint on there. I like having this little effect. I like adding sparkles everywhere. And that's this piece done! Really happy with how it came out. I think she's super cute. And now we'll be moving on to the second piece of this video. This is Monica's striped dress outfit. It's a little more sporty and adventurous than the last look, so I put this fiery orangey red background to go with that and to contrast the green of the dress. So, as you might have noticed, I'm starting these pieces from kind of in the middle. The 3 pieces in one video is kind of to make up for that, but I'm probably not going to be doing 3 pieces in one video very much from now on. The starting pieces in the middle thing, though, is probably going to be like that for a little while. I start a ton of paintings, I have a lot of ideas, so I tend to get sidetracked a lot, and I have a ton of work in progress pieces that are just left unfinished forever that I'd really like to get around to completing. I kind of want this channel to be me getting in the habit of finishing things, kind of holding myself accountable, proving I can finish things, I guess. I can get kind of down on myself, and I think it'd be nice to have this kind of video evidence to prove to myself that I can do whatever I set my mind to, or at least finish any painting I set my mind to. I will definitely be starting new paintings too, but if I made this channel just finishing pieces that I've already started, I'd have content for years, so there will be a lot of that. So, with the 3 pieces at a time situation I've set myself up with, I've really sped the videos up to keep this video from being too long. So that's why I'm probably not going to be doing more than 1 painting a video from now on, maybe 2, but I like to be able to slow it down a little bit. I like being able to get in close, see the details, really watch the process, so probably not more than 1 piece of video in the future, maybe 2 if we're gonna get crazy. So I have been mostly transitioning into digital lately, but I tend to like watching traditional art videos a lot more. They feel a lot cozier. I like watching the paint get set up. I love the aesthetic of it overall. Feels like you're hanging out with an art friend. With digital art videos, I feel like I don't get that as often. I feel like not a lot of them have commentary. The speed paint videos are really nice as well, but the videos that I tend to really get into and like watching on art YouTube usually tend to be of traditional art. So hopefully I'd like to strike a balance kind of digital art videos, but with like the cozy feel of a traditional art video. That's what I'd like to try to aim for, I think. I felt kind of nervous about doing videos with digital since I'm still such a beginner to it. You always see digital artists using all these crazy brushes and techniques that I just don't know yet. I'm still starting out with it. And it's not like I'm a master of gouache or anything, but I just feel like with traditional art videos, the aesthetic of it all can kind of pull it all together. I don't know, just felt like less pressure to me. So the way I work, I just kind of jump all over the piece, just adding colors and paint where I think it looks right. I don't really have a set process. It's not like skin, then hair, then background or whatever, or anything like that. I just kind of start with what I want to work on and then go outward from there. I think I can definitely benefit from having more of a set process, as I can kind of just end up painting areas over and over and over until they look right, and not really having much of an idea what I'm aiming for. I tend to kind of skip a lot of the sketching process, it's like the foundation of the piece. For watercolor, you do kind of need to prepare a lot more, sketch out a lot more, and with gouache, I'm just like, I'll fix if an eye is slightly off or something slightly off, I'll just fix it in the paint, you know? And yeah, they can end up kind of overworked doing it that way, but I don't know. That's why I kind of prefer gouache to watercolor, for sure. The way I approach my digital paintings is pretty much the same as my traditional ones. I keep the layers low and just kind of add color where it looks right. So I'm excited to kind of mess around with filming digital and see how that works out. It's sure a lot easier to film than traditional art though. It's weird here because like I'm trying to strike a balance between what I guess is my style and looking at referencing the style of the game, which is very like a cutesy anime style. So it's a little inconsistent on the proportions, still not really knowing how far I want to go in either direction. I'm trying to find like an in-between there. That is something I would like to get a better idea of in the future before I go in like this, but I cannot be stopped from jumping right into the paint. I'll try to have more restraint in the future. So, Monica is a character that I've drawn a lot. These are my first official paintings of her. I definitely like to paint her more in the future. I just like to raise awareness of this game, kind of. I mean, it's so good and it's so underrated. I never hear anybody talking about it. It has so many little things to do in it, and the character designs are just so cute and so perfect. I had it on the PS2 back when I first played it, but now I'm replaying it on PS4, trying to platinum it, and there's just so many little things to do to get to 100%. And it's been super relaxing. It's just a really good game to just zone out to. And Monica has a character design that I just really, really love. I love her super long hair. Of course I love all her outfits, hence these paintings. She's super cute. She's got like everything I love in a character design. She's a princess, she has magic, she has a sword. She is basically the perfect character. I mean, her dialogue isn't great, but when I'm playing the game, I pretend she's cooler. She has a lot of potential. Just working on this crazy sword she's got. This is referenced from one of her swords in the game. It's so crazy looking and it has all these fun little details on it. She has a way crazier looking sword for her best one. Never drawn that one before, maybe I'll paint it someday. I had to go over her hair a few times because the color doesn't quite dry how it looks in gouache. That is something that, I mean, it can be used to your benefit, but also not. So I was trying to get it, the like pink to almost like fuchsia purple gradient her hair has. Trying to get that to work was a little bit of a struggle. Doing backgrounds in gouache, like, nothing compares. I could do backgrounds in gouache well, I say backgrounds, but what I really mean is like color gradation. Is that a word? Just gradients of colors and just throwing a lot of color on there. That's what I love doing. with gouache, it never quite dries exactly like how you put it down, but I kind of like that because a lot of the times you end up with these kind of notes in it you weren't expecting. And that's this one done. Really like how it turned out. And now before we move on to the last one, here is the fourth painting I did off screen. This is Monica's main outfit. It's called Pumpkin Shorts. Who knows why? It's very cute. I love the purple. I love the one stocking. I used to think that was so iconic. I really like how it turned out. I wish I had footage of it, but it just didn't happen that way. And now onto the final painting of this video. This is her star leotard outfit. Really love the magical girl aesthetic of this one. Did feel the need to alter it a little bit, but keeps in the spirit of the original, I think. I did have to kind of change the boots. I don't know, the boots weren't doing it for me. So the footage you're seeing here is me painting this, coming back to this piece after about a year or so. I'd started it around April of last year, so it's a little weird getting back into a painting after it's been so long. Kind of having to redo all that work and get back into that space. Kind of meet what I was going for a year ago versus what I want to go for now. In the future, I'd probably like to finish my pieces in a quicker time span than a year. We're interacting with some really old gouache here. It still comes up, it still activates like it's newish gouache. I did feel a little confined on this one. It's such an old piece that I've started, and my process isn't the same so much anymore. I've really been doing a lot more digital than gouache lately, so it's a little weird coming back to it. I already had the pose kind of laid out, so there wasn't a lot I could change. So I guess the advice I come away with from this is don't draw your sketches a year ago. I'll try not to do that next time. I was kind of loosely inspired by an area in the game for each of these backgrounds. Nobody can tell but me, but for this one I was kind of thinking of the end of the game where you're not in space, but you're kind of in space. Kind of going for like a galaxy, blue-purple-ish moment here. And kind of the idea I had when I was just picking out the colors for these was to have like a rainbow effect when you put them all together. So like one of them has a red-orange background, the next one has like a yellow-green background, and then the next one would have this turquoisey blue background, and then this one has the blue and purple. I don't know how all that turned out. I didn't really focus on it too much after I planned it, just kind of like, that's how I picked out the colors for the backgrounds. So yeah, as these are kind of older paintings that I'm finishing up here, I'd definitely like to do more takes on Monica in the future. I feel like I can do her a little bit more justice now. I'd definitely like to try and re-tackle this star leotard with the galaxy-ish background type thing again in digital. I think it'd be a lot of fun to kind of see the difference. So, something I do like about traditional art more than digital is that when you finish it, it's just done and you can put it up. You don't have to worry about paper or ink or anything, it's already done. It's ready to go up. I like being able to put up all my old pieces where I can see them, look at them as kind of inspiration for new pieces. Being able to look back and just feel like I did that, I can use the skills from that painting and expand on them into new paintings. And seeing older pieces that I can do way better than now is really motivating. I'm a really visual person, so if something's not right in front of me, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, so being able to have them right up in front of me helps. I'm really happy that I have these done now. It's not to sound like I hated doing them or anything, but it just kind of feels like I'm closing a chapter and starting a new one, which is exciting. There's a lot I like about these pieces. I like the colors. I loved drawing the outfits. It was so much fun painting this character. I'm pretty happy with how they came out. And obviously I can look at them now and be like, oh, I can do so much better than that. But that's more motivating than unmotivating. Makes me want to paint more things. I've definitely learned how to keep myself motivated and push myself through paintings a bit more. I think if I wasn't putting these together into a video, I don't even know if these would be finished, because again, like I said, I do get in the habit of just moving on from old paintings and just leaving them unfinished. So I'm glad I did get these done. Hopefully there will be a lot more of me doing that in the future. That extends to the video as well. The editing process is very new for me, but I had a lot of fun with it. I really like videos that are 20 to 30 to 40 minutes of painting with voiceover, and so I figured that's the kind of video I wanted to make. But I didn't realize how much I would have to talk to fill out 30 minutes. So the audio has been very spotty here, as I'm sure you have noticed by now. Thank you for sticking it out. It will get better as I get more used to it, though. While I'm in the process of painting, I'm thinking I could talk about this painting for days, no problem, but once I get in the process of recording, I just forget everything about it. Did I even paint these? Who knows? So, as you can see, I did have the other Monica off to the side here to kind of try to keep the faces kind of similar, but didn't exactly work out. I wasn't really looking at it, so these are all a little off model from each other, but we're gonna say that adds to the charm. That's what we're going to say. It adds to the charm. These are the new boots. Nothing special, but better than the last ones for me, I think. The ones she has in the game are probably better for actually fighting in, but I don't know, I wanted something smaller with like a little more of a heel to go with this outfit. Probably don't sword fight in this, but it's just a painting. I can do what I want. With that, the piece is starting to approach finished. We're just putting on a couple finishing touches right now. Adding some lines, adding some dark, some light, little touch-ups in places that need touch-ups. Finishing up this background. I had so much fun with this background. I think it's my favorite bit of the painting, along with the little laces on her top. Trying to add some saturation back to that hair. I don't know why it ended up so like blue-gray. I guess that's just the way the gouache was drying, but tried to add a little bit of red back to it. We're going over the laces on her corset type top thing one more time. Like I said, this is one of my favorite bits of the painting. I don't know why, they're just so cute and little. Now I'm going in adding some sparkles to the background, using a little bit of the splatter technique and a little bit of just going in and adding tiny little dots manually. And that is the last painting of this video done. It was super fun working on these. Feels great to finally get these old pieces finished. Thank you so much for watching. Trying to do the peeling off the tape thing, but this painting is so old and has been taped and retaped so many times that it doesn't work quite as well, but I think the right side and the bottom turned out pretty good. But like the very left, I don't even know if I had it taped originally or what. And then it was a little hard getting it out of that little clamp at the bottom there, but I don't know. And now we're all done! I've got about 1,000 more ideas for videos, so if you want to see where it goes from here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! It won't take a year this time, I promise.